morning, everybody. First of all, I'd like to thank especially Amar and the whole organization team for inviting me again to this wonderful meeting. It's extremely active. So I'm really grateful to Amar, but now I have to fight against him, which is always a pleasure. So let's talk about cement in TKR. This historical, the cement, of course, is the gold standard of total knee arthroplasty. The first uncemented knee replacements were developed in the very early 1980s, but they showed, unfortunately, a lot of complications like osteolysis, metal wear, and early loosening. Of course, there are arguments against cemented total knee arthroplasty. Prolonged operation time, microembolism, necrosis, allergies. Removal of cement is sometimes quite difficult, polywear, and so on and so on. How is the distribution in the different parts of the world? So in US, there's a dramatic exponential decrease in the usage of cementless total knee replacements. Here you see almost 22% last year. But there's a difference to Europe, not only there, but for example in UK, they use in just 2% uncemented total knee replacements. And if you look to the other registries, there's only Australia and America, US, where they are using cementless total knee arthroplasties quite widely. The key to success of an uncemented total knee arthroplasty is, of course, good bone quality. They need good bone. The problem with the uncemented total knee replacements is where, at least at the past, the femoral component. This is not the tibial component. The femoral component itself is not the problematic part. It has a very low rate of loosening, and you can reach a very good press fit between implant and bone. The tibial component is the issue. The problem is high shear stress, high eccentric forces, proximal tibia often provides poor bone stock. This results in a high rate of loosening, at least in the former literature. And if you go through the literature and the comparisons between cemented and uncemented total knee arthroplasties, to be honest, it's quite inconclusive. Some of them are for uncemented, some of them against, but the results are not showing a clear direction. Some papers showed poor results of uncemented. I don't like to cite papers so much because they are often biased, they are implant depending. Here, for example, bad results with the Kinemax total knee. Here is a meta-analysis from Canada which showed significantly better results of the cemented total knee arthroplasty. But again, this is the old literature. It's from the beginning of the 2000s. Why do I like cemented total knee arthroplasty? It's a gold standard, has very well established outcomes. It's depending on better cementing techniques, and you can use antibiotic-loaded bone cement as prevention and sometimes as a therapy. Look at the results in the registries. This is what I believe, to be honest. The last HHAR, the American registry, showed in patients older than 65 no difference, but there's one exception. Let me see. There's an increased revision risk, even in US, in women older than 65 years with uncemented total knee replacement. Okay, you can say, let's do the uncemented ones in younger patients, but if we are looking for the younger patients, younger than 65 years, we have to consider something wrong. No, it's okay. We have to consider that even in the younger patient, there's no significant difference in revision risk between these two methods, even in US. In Australia, the same. Almost 20% are using uncemented knees, but the outcome is not really extremely good for the uncemented ones. The cementless does not work as good as the uncemented in minimal stabilized primary implants, and they are doing the same in more stabilized primary total knee arthroplasties. In the Norwegian registries, the cemented are doing much better than uncemented. So what the problem is, again, loosening of the parts. I don't like to cite the papers so much. You can cite everything what you want except the registries which are quite safe. The problem with the bad results of cemented knees, in my opinion, is the cementing technique. We have always to deal with a critical interface, bone cement. This is not a good cementing technique. Here you have a smooth surface of the cement, and we all know cement is not a glue. Cement needs interdigitization of the bone cement in the trabecular bone. And for good cementing technique, even in the knees, you would need to do something. You have to clean the bone. You need cleansing techniques like jet lavage, which are much better than the syringe. As you can see here, the comparison to clean the cancellous bone is extremely important. And how to do the cement, you have to cover, and this is a great paper from the Bellemans group in Belgium, you have to cover both the bone surface and the implant, and then you reach the best results by cementing. So for conclusion, if you want to cement in a proper way, if you get at least even better results as uncemented, you have to use jet lavage, dry the cancellous bone, open subungular sclerosis with drill holes, and wait until the cement is hard. So why do I still use cemented total knee replacements? The results are equal except in older women. We have in cementing the possibility to admix antibiotics for prevention or therapy, and the price. The price for me is the biggest issue in Germany and the rest of the world. It's mostly 2 times higher than an uncemented one. So price are my main argument against uncemented knees. Otherwise, you can do what you want. Thank you so much.